Whoa. Whoa. Spin it.
It's Black Hoody, I'm back cooking these goodies. Look at these views from cooking these foods. Yeah.
Why, hello there. Today, we break down my most famous song. Because I'm so famous. But we do. We break down my most listened to song, which is I'm Good. At a time when I probably even wasn't that good. You know what I mean? But out of all my songs, it has the most plays, 10,000 to be exact. Or no, I think it's actually over that now. It's like 11,000, which is tiny. It's peanuts. I know. I'm a minuscule guy who makes a couple tunes here and there, even though it's the only thing that makes me feel alive in the world, pretty much, and gives me like goosebumps and makes me like feel like I have any sort of a purpose in this life. But you know, time's a ticking. We're getting old. Things aren't working out. But hey, we can still do creative things, live in the moment. Also, I have tons more of music I'd like to make. So, hey, you know, if there's people even listening, caring, commenting to any degree, then that's cool. However, I was told on my first song breakdown video that basically like it was kind of in a nice way, but it was basically like, hey man, unless you're Kanye West, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? You know, it's just such a societal thing, right? Like unless you're shoved down the throat of people and you're like some massive thing, it's like anything and everything that you do creatively is like not worth anything or something, is like the narrative of like the general indoctrinated human in society. It's like, if you're not topping the charts, no, don't get me wrong, Kanye is a fucking musical genius. I'm not debating that. But it's interesting how as humans we just like downplay anyone who's not like in the hot seat. It's like, no, nobody cares. Any deep thing that ever meant anything to you that you wrote, that's personal, and you chefed an entire song by yourself, it's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? But that's the world we live in, right? So, you know, people, and that's the other thing too, is what's funny is they'll be like, you know, a handful of people cheering for you while you're at the bottom. And then finally, when you get to be the trendy thing, all of a sudden, all the congratulations people show up, right? Too. That's very interesting, which is another interesting topic for a video, but I think I'm going to start this here now. Don't mind my Walmart Canadian drip. Who knows? I could be in a shed right now. I'm not. Anyways, okay, so my most played song, probably one of my most well-received songs, to be honest with you, like between anybody I've ever played it for, and like, you know, just in general, I think the numbers have shown it. Right. So anyways, to get to this song, we've got the Sony player out again here. I'm gonna probably play snippets of it, pieces of it, I guess. We'll just not play the whole thing through. We'll just break it down as it goes, just to remind people. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. I could link to it down below, but if you're watching this, I'm probably sure that you have. But there's a reason to everything I write, basically, and there's a little bit of a backstory and a backdrop to everything I write. So, you know, while I'm trying to get unfat and shit, I figure why not just also release some like talking style content. So this song, I'm Good, is I'll kind of tell you the how it came to be. So we'll just play the first little bit here.
I'm not afraid of that daylight sun. I said my sorries and I paid my blood. Say I'm good. Yeah, baby, I'm good. I'm not afraid of that daylight sun. I said my sorries and I paid my blood. Say I'm good. Yeah, baby, I'm
right. So before it goes any further there. So yeah, so the genesis of this is like me and my girl, we like go out that night. Not my current girl. Back in that day. I have no current girl. We go out and we have a night, of course, right? Wake up the next day and we're hung as shit, and we both have to work later. But like, those like those drunk sleeps where you wake up and you just like cannot get, even though you want to crash back to sleep so hard, like you're like, oh, I need more sleep, but you just cannot get back. That's what this was. So I'm like, I'm gonna go. I just had like an idea from the night before, I guess, maybe, because when I drink, I get melodies, and the funniest shit is like, if you listen to like the years of my drunk phones, I have all these voice notes of like these drunk melodies that come to me when I'm like fucked up. So anyways, I have this melody from the night before, and I'm like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go record this chorus. And it's just like, that was it. The I'm not afraid of the daylight, son. I said my sorries and paid my blood. We'll get into that. But so I go record it, start making the drums and shit. And then once I had like some vocals down, I brought my headphones back to bed. Like I'm laying in bed beside her. And, I don't know if anybody's dated like someone who does music and you have to lay beside them. Like there's like headphone bleed. And anybody who knows who makes music or makes beats or anything like that, that like you're looping constantly and you're trying to like fix the vocals and chop things out and like add instruments in, and you're trying to build the beat and shit, right? So I'm laying there doing that constantly, and then eventually I just feel like a smack on my head and she's just pissed. She's like can you like go somewhere else to do this? And then so like I piss off and let her like sleep and shit. So anyways, so that's the start of this. And then eventually I show her the chorus, and she's like, oh shit, this is actually really good. Like this has potential. Like this is maybe one of the most catchiest things you've ever shown me. Anyhow, the chorus is like, so I'm not afraid of that daylight, son. I've said my sorries and I've paid my blood. Say I'm good. Yeah, no baby, I'm good. It's pretty simple. But really what this encapsulates, embodies for me is like this. In my head, when I listen to this song, it transports me back to city nights in Toronto, very summer. And it's like, basically like, it's those nights, the nights I've had so many of there. And it's those nights where you're going hard in the paint. Like you've probably got off work in my scenario. And by the time you're even like getting into like the thick of the night, it's like summer, right? So that sun's about to come up and you feel that the creep of the daylight sun, and you've had like a messed up night with people, and maybe there was some like tension or beefs, or like, how, or when you like have a shift at work, maybe like for me in this case in the restaurant industry, maybe you had some like intense moments where you might have had beef with somebody or a couple people at times, because it's like it's restaurant style work, and like you're under the heat, right? You're in the shits, you're in the weeds and stuff, and like you get at each other's throats, and that at the end of it you guys like end up drinking and stuff. And so it was like, that was like what it's for me, is like you see the sun creeping up, you've been in some party favors, definitely drinking, and it's like I've said my sorries and I paid my blood, which is like you kind of reconcile these beefs with these people while you're drunk, because like, well, you're drunk and everything's cooled off and you're chatting, and now you're back to like being cool homie friends. And so it's like I've said my sorries and I paid my blood, almost like I paid my blood tonight while working. Like we all paid our blood, and like we've like paid each other in our like in the blood of the apology, in a sense. Like that's what it feels like to me when I was writing it. So that's like the chorus. And in my head, it's so weird how when you write songs, like they can transfer you right to the moment of like that whole memory. So that's that. And then we're going to move into the first verse, which this whole song is an ode to like just essentially getting fucked up after work until the morning sun. But we'll explain a little deeper into the verses.
Every little thing gonna be alright. I've been running around the city all night, looking for something to help me blow off steam. I'm about to go off chain. I'm saying, yeah.
So yeah, basically pretty straightforward. Like, all right, every little thing gonna be all right. Like that's just because you're gonna get what you need to get after your stressful shift. And you know, I've been running around the city all night looking for something to blow off steam. I'm about to go off chain. It's like that's just what you feel like. You just want to blow off the steam and go off the chain and get like just completely out of your mind to forget about just like everything, right?
And I'm saying, yeah. I've been making moves since I was high, hanging with my dudes and we all stay high. I'ma pay my dues until the day I die. I never change up mine. I'm saying.
Okay, so AI, I've been making moves since I was yay high, hanging with my dudes and we all stay high. I'ma pay my dues until the day I die. I never change out mine. So yeah, I mean that's just the vibe of like, you know, being a shithead with your guys, you know, making your moves since you was yay high, just being on that dumb shit, that stupid shit, and just that younger shit, and then you know, I'm gonna pay my dues until the day I die and never change up mine. And you know, that's always been my motto on this channel anyways, is like, you know, trying to grind it out in like being truthful and just like I never change up mine. Like I'm never gonna switch up. Like I'm just always trying to keep it exactly to who I am. Then we come back into the chorus, obviously, like I'm not afraid of the daylight sun. We know what this means. We've covered that. And then we'll go into second verse, and second verse gets a little more into the time in Toronto at the time of what the whole scene of my head felt like.
Okay, every little thing gonna be okay. Running around the city chasing snowflakes, looking for something to help me catch my vibe. Willing to bet my life. I'm saying.
All right, so I wanted it to be like congruent with the all right, every little thing going, just that catchy little hook piece. So we just switched it to okay, okay. Every little thing gonna be okay. Running around the city chasing snowflakes, looking for something to help me catch my vibe, willing to bet my life. So this one hits a little harder in terms of like at the time. And this is what I talked about in a video recently, and about like the people are dying all around me, is that at this time in life, that's what it was like. Is like you get off work and you have your drinks, next thing you know, restaurant industry and lots of industries, like lots of people, you just, when you get older, you realize people put things in their nose more than you would imagine, and people that you would never expect. So, you know, you're running around the city chasing snowflakes. So we all know what that probably means, right? Some people call it white girl. Some people call it the white horse or whatever, right? Run around the city chasing snowflakes, looking for something to help me catch my vibe. Obviously, just trying to get that feeling. Willing to bet my life. Now that's where this gets a little dicey, is because that was the time what I was saying about like Fenty, where it was like it felt like such a gamble. Every night when you would ever do that shit is like literally willing to bet my life just to catch a vibe. So that to me always hits home for me, because I always think back to the times of just being like sketched out, but like wanting to party, but thinking like, this is terrible. What am I doing? Like, this is the dumbest shit ever. And like, I know people who just like, or like third party know people who like didn't make it and shit. So it's like, at the time it was just like, it's very visceral, that lyric for me. But anyways.
Addicted to the high, so we gon' stay up. Gotta see how this night's gonna play up. Sipping on these drinks until it's day outside.
Right. So Ayo, addicted to the high, so we gonna stay out. Gotta see how this night's gonna play out. Sipping on these drinks until it's day outside, just trying to stay alive. You know, that's the thing is like you're in that party mode, you are addicted to that high, like you're just chasing, like keeping going. So you're gonna stay out, and always when you're like chasing the party to the next spot or the next this or this after hours, you know, gotta see how this night's gonna play out. And then you're sipping all these drinks until it's day outside, just trying to stay alive. Like that comes back to the Fenty, but that also comes back to just like staying alive in the moment of that party. Like just you keep trying to like stay alive in keeping going, like instead of getting tired and like passing out. Like you just keep like, because I've had some wild times where you just keep chasing the next spot or like whatever that is. You just trying to stay alive, and then the chorus, of course. So we won't play the whole next chorus, but that's the thing is like even just in summary, this like that whole thing about the daylight sun is like there is like this fear factor of it when you're in party mode and you're like, no, that sun's coming up, like, and you always are like, I gotta be like in bed or in a dark room before that happens, and there is like a fear and anxiety about that when you're partying. You're like, oh, when that sun's coming up, you like, you know, you've pushed it too far, you've taken it too far. Only like it's the worst of the worst. You're gonna feel like ass. You just feel stupid about yourself. But then like this song was like the anti that. It's like you know what? I'm not afraid of it. Like, you know what I mean? I said my sorries. I paid my blood. Like and I'm not gonna feel bad about what I did tonight and all that shit. But sure enough, and certainly enough, you no matter what, like you maybe when you pass out, you ever see if you wake up and you're just like, it was all a mistake. Like you usually pay for it just complete and totally, and you're just like, last night was fun, but like turns out I am afraid of that daylight that daylight sun, you know what I mean? So, and I know people are going to listen, you could relate to that feeling, just the birds chirping and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what that song represents for me. Is just like, for me, that is like, it feels like a time warp of like nostalgia now to like these very visceral party moments that were super enjoyable and very fun and like really great memories of my life. But also like the flip side of that coin is like pain and like anxiety and just your body being like in rough shape, and just like there's a lot of like darkness that comes with it sometimes, right? So, but it's an upbeat song. It's got a sick groove, and like I built that beat completely by myself, totally, and mixed and engineered and everything. And I always laugh at the clap because it kind of sounds like a clap on, clap off. And I weirdly, when I was thinking about a video shoot for it, I was going to be like, have these like images of where I would have had to do it where I would get a shot at like daytime and nighttime, but in the same spots. And when the clap happened, it was going to be like me standing there, like either like pre-faded. So in the daytime, I would be like seemingly normal. And then in the nighttime, I'd look all like faded out, and it would like clap on, clap off. But the city, right? Like that was just an idea in the video. Like quickly at those moments, it would be like me in the same scenario, but just daytime or nighttime, and in two different head spaces, and have like almost like the clap on, clap off effect to it. But you know, never shot any. I mean, I don't really have videos for any of my tracks, but that's because that's a huge endeavor and costs money if you do it like legitimately and right. But anyways, yeah, so that song like always gives me like a summer energy. It gives me some nostalgia. It's definitely upbeat. I feel like it's something you could like run to or just kind of truly vibe out to. But in my head, there's also this like this real seedy underbelly, like darkness that goes along to it, which is interesting juxtaposition. But that's my writer's interpretation of it. Like that's where it came from me. Like, so it's like, and so that's the thing about music or lyrics or anything, is like it's always open to the person's interpretation, and the person who writes it usually writes it from a different place than you interpret it as, because you interpret it where you are in your life usually, right? Or how you hear it. You might hear a word different or wrong, and it could throw off the whole thing or whatever. So that's definitely interesting to me, is like how it can be different from everybody's perspective, even though my lyrics are pretty straightforward. Like there's nothing cryptic about them. I'm not a very cryptic writer. I don't have that weird cryptic mysticism to my lyrics. My lyrics are usually pretty straight to the point, with some deeper stories behind them, I guess, maybe. But yeah, I have not perfected this format of video. I don't know really what or how I'm supposed to do these things. Feedback in the comments could be good. You know, do I keep playing it just in snippets like that? And should I keep the explanations as thorough as I do, or should they be more brief? I don't know. It's almost like turning a song into a bit of a podcast is the way I'm looking at it. And there's always stories and scenarios and places and things surrounding the creation of the song, and there's always something to do, deeper explanation for the lyrics themselves, things like that. So I don't know, just something new to try. I'll see why not, because I'm just gonna throw mud at the wall for right now, because on a mission to just look real nice at some point. But I feel like it's gonna take a while, maybe till like December, sometime in December, I feel like is when I'll finally reach my goals, even though things are going quite good right now. But I just feel like I'm going to like plateau. Like I'm going to have to ramp some shit up. I'm going to have to get real crazy with maybe like some serious fast to knock off like some last stuff eventually here soon. So anyways, I'm exhausted. Also, I've been awake. I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule. So I've been awake like 21 hours right now, but I've been so productive in my haze. I've done a ton of shit today. So anyways, can we, a thing? Is it a thing? It is a thing, because I'll just make them and put them up, and then they can do whatever they want, because it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you got something from that that you could relate to. Maybe it explains something that you didn't know from the song, because you've listened to that song a bunch of times. Maybe you're one of the 11,000 plays. I don't know. But either way, I do still plan to make more music. Just getting around to finding the moment in time to really commit to making some more shit, because I really wish I could disappear into like a cabin for like 3 months, all Bon Iver styles, and just focus on it. Like not have nothing else to focus on, and just be like alone and be able to like yell and scream and be loud and record at all any hours of the day and night, and not worry about like picking up cars going by and stuff. It's just, there's something about trying to get music done in a tight pocket of limited space. And it's like, you know, when you have to adapt to your surroundings and situations, it's just like it kind of kills the vibe, like it stifles things. So I wish I could just disappear for a while and just make like a shit ton of music. But as the bills stay rolling in, that's not possible. Okay, I'm going to end this now. I've just been rambling way too hard. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Peace.
I'm not afraid of that daylight sun. I said my sorries and I paid my blood. Say I'm good. Yeah, no, baby, I'm good. I'm not afraid of that daylight sun. I said something to help me blow off steam. I'm about to go off chain. I'm saying, yeah. I've been making moves since I was hanging with my dudes and